Hey gang, it's Jay, and we are going to go through a skill today, and we are going to make a quick deploy Ridgeline kit. Everyone knows with more and more people doing tarp shelter setups and hammock setups, that having a Ridgeline that is pre-rigged and ready to go makes a huge difference in just speed and efficiency of setting up your camp, specifically for putting up your tarp, whether it's a tarp over a hammock setup, a dining fly, a quick poncho shelter, using a plash palatka. All of those different types of setups, quick deploy Ridgeline is going to be a common theme amongst all of those. So we're going to go ahead and make one together. This is one that's already pre-rigged, ready to go. I have to give a shout out to Corporal's Corner. That's who I first originally saw this setup through, and I tell you what, I've made a ton of them now. Anytime we're at camp and the kids are setting up tarps or whatnot, we throw a quick one together. But essentially, you're just using paracord and bankline for your prussics, and you're good to go. So we're going to go ahead and make one together, and then we'll put it to use, and so you can see just exactly how it works. So stay tuned. Alright gang, so first thing you need is a chunk of paracord. There's all different kinds of paracord out here. This is one of the inexpensive kinds from Home Depot, I believe. But it achieves the same result there. And then we have a hank of bankline that we'll be cutting for our prussics. So first and foremost, we have our paracord. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to pull out a little bit of it. First thing we need to do is tie a bowline on the end. The bowline is going to be really important when it comes to setting up our Ridgeline for attaching it to a tree. So what we're going to do here is we're going to create our loop. I always start with, you have your tree. We all remember the rabbit comes out of the hole, around the tree, back into the hole. Same idea here. So we have our rabbit, we have our tree. We want to make sure that the outside of the loop that is going to the rabbit is over top of the tree. We're going to come out of the hole, around the tree, back into the hole, and we're going to go ahead and pull that tight. Rabbit end is on the inside of the hole, or the inside of the loop, and we have our bowline for starting off our quick deploy Ridgeline. We're going to set that down. For your prussics, we're going to take some bankline. I like using bankline. Number one, it's a smaller diameter than what the paracord is, which for making prussics makes a huge difference for obtaining the friction that you need. But it also is coated, and I like that just from a standpoint of being able to, it holds a little bit better, makes it a little tacky, and I think that makes a big difference there in the holding power as well. So here we're just going to cut a few inches off. I like my loops a little bit bigger than most, so maybe we'll go about 6 inches or so. We'll go ahead and cut that. So this is going to be our first prussic. One thing you're going to do is you're going to tie a fisherman's knot on it. So we're going to go ahead. I just tie a single one. And actually, you know what? I'm going to cut that a little bit longer there. There we go. That's more like it. I feel better with that. We're going to tie a overhand knot on one side of our loop. Tie one on the other. Nothing fancy here. Pull it snug. So we have our loop, right? I like to cheat and put our knots towards in the upper third of it. we're going to take our hunk of line, create a loop out of it. I don't know how well you can see that there. And we're going to pass it through once. See how we're creating that loop? Twice. The more loops you have, the easier it is to move and adjust. Make sure it's dressed up real nice. I kind of like having them dressed up real nice. You could go as many as 3 loops if you wanted to, but it's not required because you see once you put friction on it, it's going to hold. But when you need to release it, you just pull it. Once again, once you put friction on it, it's going to hold. So we're going to stick with just 2 loops there. So there's one. Let's cut a second one here. Now some people like to do 3 of these, one being a little bit longer for in the middle for hanging a lantern. Some people like that hanging a headlamp in the middle of it. To be honest with you, I've been using this for a while. I have yet to hang a lantern or a headlamp or anything from it, so we're going to skip that part of it. Once again, there's our fisherman's knot to make our prusik. Move the knot up to the upper third of the prusik loop. Put it on our line. We're going to pass that through once, twice. Make sure that knot gets through there. Dress it up real nice so we have a nice even lay on it. See how that works? And then once again, once you put friction on it, it holds. But if you need to move it for adjusting, you're good to go, okay? So we have our 2 prusiks. Notice they're about the same length there. And I'm going to keep that on towards the loop. And that loop is going to come in important here in a moment. So let me move things around and we'll show you how the setup works. Be right back. Alright, so now that we have our Ridgeline done here, we have our prusiks, we have our bowline tied in the center, or in the end of it I should say. We're going to go ahead and set it up here on this tree for starting it off. So what you're going to want to do, depending upon the thickness of the tree, you're going to want to go ahead and pull those prusiks down so that it doesn't get caught up on the tree itself, okay? After that, wrap it around the tree. So you have your loop where your bowline is, and then you have the other side of your ridgeline. You're going to create a bite on the other side, pass that through your bowline, so you're creating a loop. And if you don't know what it's called already, but we're going to create a marlin spike on there. So we just need a piece of wood. Any kind of a stick will do. You're going to slide that through that loop and then pull the tail through to tighten it up. You guys see that there, how that works? This is one of the key points of that quick deploy ridgeline here is put this in place, run your ridgeline out so it ends up being nice and secure, but when you're ready to break camp and you need to pull it out, you don't have any knots to undo. You just pull your stick out and off you go. So it really simplifies that process there. So once again, wrap it around, take a bite of the free end of the rope, pass that through your bowline, pull it tight so that you take up any slack that there is. Put your spike through there. Once again, any kind of a stick. You can use a tent stake if need be. And away you go. So it works out real nice and simple. Doesn't take long at all, and the best part of it all is there's no knots involved there, okay? So we're going to go ahead. So next we'll go ahead and hook the, throw a tarp up on it so you can see how that works. Now our prusiks come into play. So here I'm just using a plash palatka just as the example of it. So what we're going to do here is on one of our prusiks, we're going to go ahead and pass that through the grommet hole for our tarp. I'm going to grab a stick again. Put that through the toggle. You're creating a toggle out of it. Then we have one side there. We're going to slide our other prusik all the way down, and we're going to repeat. Slide that through the grommets. Put a toggle through there, let it tighten itself up. As you can see now, we have resistance from our prusik setup, so it's not going anywhere. No knots have been involved with that. And then we just need to throw a couple stakes down. I happen to have 2 tent stakes handy with me. Throw one on one side. One on the other. Our shelter setup. So with a quick deploy ridgeline like that, you can set up a camp just about anywhere. Use have a simple tarp shelter, your ridgeline setup, no knots, so there's no untying everything, and it works out real quick and simple to be able to wrap up and put away and keep on going. So let's go ahead and take it apart real quick, and we'll show you just how easy it is for pulling it apart. So here all you're going to do, loosen up your prusiks, take your toggles out. There's one gone. Take the other toggle out. There's 2 gone. Slide your prusiks down towards the end. Undo your ridgeline from your secondary tree. Remember our marlin spike? Pop that out. So what you'll do from here, slide your prusiks all the way down to the end, like so. Lay that between your fingers, make a V, and then just do a figure 8 across your pinky and your thumb to pull it all together. So all we're doing is coiling up our rope, and this comes down to the quick deploy parts. So we have that all wrapped. I'm going to go ahead here, pull it off, grab it in your hand, wrap your cordage around like so. You can do it nice and snug like. Tuck your free end through the last loop, and you have yourself a quick deploy ridgeline. So when it's time to set it up, pull a little bit of slack out, like so. Pull your prusiks down. Find a tree. Pull your cord through your bowline. Find a stick. Pull it tight. And off you go. And just pull out as you need your cord. So that's it. That's the beauty of the quick deploy ridgeline. I hope you guys learned something there from it. I know when I discovered this from Corporal's Corner, I was pretty blown away by it. Started making them and realized just how easy they were to use. But yeah, that's it. So any of you guys, if you have scout meetings coming up, getting together with your buddies, if you have a group that you like to go camping with, whatnot, get a whole bunch of hanks of paracord, get a spool of bankline, and start making yourselves some ridgeline kits. I think you'll be happy that you did, just for the ease of camp setup and ease of having everything ready to go and when you need it at a moment's notice. But that's it. Thanks for watching, gang. You guys take care, stay safe, and we'll touch base real soon. Thanks a bunch.